I was born in Iran, Tehran. I came to America when I was in third grade. It basically became before the revolution happened. So when the revolution happened, we lost everything.
Welcome back, all of you Courage, Confidence, and Connections podcast fans. I am Janice Debo. I am your host, and I can't talk. It's Friday afternoon. We are embracing the weekend here shortly. My guest today is Haleh Houshim, and she and I are going to have so much fun. She is full of just enormous amounts of energy, and we're going to talk about why. But first, we're going to learn about you, Haleh. We want to know tell our audience who you are, a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and no, she's not really sitting on a jet, but she will be one day. I guarantee you that. She'll be coming to you live from the back end of that jet. So welcome.
Thank you. I would say hop on and we'll go wherever you want to go to. And yes, thank you so much for having me in this time and space. It's an honor to be in your space, Janice. I'm grateful. And it's Haleh, like
Haleh.
hallelujah. I have to say
Haleh.
that every time because I have, you name it, they have been calling me so many different names, but I've learned to own how my name is really pronounced. So I come with that one. So
Well,
no,
what is your heritage? That's a very unusual name. So give our audience some background on that name and where you grew up and a little bit about who you are, and we'll get into some fun stuff too.
definitely. I was born in Iran, Tehran. I came to America when I was in third grade. It basically became before the revolution happened. So when the revolution happened, we lost everything, and then we came to America. So that's what happens. And I have one older sibling, my brother, who is 5 years older than I am.
Very good. Well, what kind of memories do you have from living in Iran? We're in such a different culture here, but we'll talk about that transition next. What memories can you tell us about your life there as a kid?
Wow, let's see down the memory lane. Okay. Back home, I do remember that it was such a home, like the family, we were so connected. One person worked and fed like a whole community,
Hmm.
and that's how it was. But the main thing that I remember was the food. I'm such a food lover. The food was so pure and it tasted so good without all those chemicals. Because in America, there are 30 ingredients that's even banned in Europe that are allowed here. So the food was just so pure and so good. And the families, being together, and it just felt really good. And that's what I remember. There was a lot of family connections and coming together as a community and enjoying. And the foods, I was little, so I really enjoyed the food. I remember some foods that they try to have the same over here in America, but it's just not the same. There's
Oh,
certain fruits, certain herbs, or certain everything. Every like they call it the Burberry or currant and one rice dish that we have, but it has to literally come from Iran because the flavor is just not the same.
I can believe that. The
Well,
seasonings
yeah.
are so different, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, and we'll get into what you do in a little bit, but because you kind of alluded to it, and our audience we'll keep them hanging on for a little bit. Now, I have interviewed people that have moved here from other countries previously, and it's always an interesting story to me as you would have been 8 or 9 years old, I guess. What
Right.
was it like when you got to this foreign land? And I'm sure culture shock, even though you wouldn't have known what that was at 8. What was it like for you as a kid to get over here? And I mean, you were with your family, but still a lot of changes.
Yes, a lot of changes, especially I mean, first we moved to my dad sent us to one of my mom's friends in Carmel. So we stayed there in Carmel for a little bit. We were there. And then I'll get to your question because these all lead together. So then my dad got a home in London. However, my mom did not want to go to London. No, my mom, she was young when she got engaged, like 14, she says 15, 16, around that ballpark. I can't even figure the age,
Wow.
but she was anywhere between 14 to 16. So she really wanted to, when she comes to America, to be in Beverly Hills with her friends. So, and I felt so out of place, let alone the language and everything.
Yeah.
I I'm more of a nature guy person. Like you can let me loose in nature and I'll go barefoot, walking, climbing rocks. I just love nature. So now I had to go in Beverly Hills and be all dolled up and be this image that I don't fit in. And then the language, I had to take an ESL language and that became, but there I went to Beverly High and it was popular Persian. They would call it the Persian lawn. We had a front lawn and it was a Persian city and everyone would sit in the front lawn.
Ah,
uh, and there was a lot of Persians around, so I was again in a community of Persians going to Beverly High at that time. I'm the 80s girl, so that was it, but I had to learn the language. And there's certain stuff that I say, my husband, who's half German and he's got a mix of British and Welsh and everything mixed. And he's constantly sometimes corrects me because it's like, didn't you grow up in America? I'm like, yeah, but when I came, I was surrounded with a lot of Persians. I guess I still have that little foreign accent or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it has been a part of me, and it was a challenging at first, let alone fitting in, and then the language at the same time. So I did take an ESL language.
yeah. Was it hard to learn as a kid, or is it easier to learn as a kid to speak a new language?
It was easy because what I did, I also didn't let go of my Persian language. And everyone was surprised because I was able to read and write and speak Farsi really well.
Oh,
Um, that was because of my dad. I remember when I was young, I would have the hardest scientific magazine and I would be able to read it. So everyone was surprised that I'm reading that I'm writing Persian. So I had a very deep love for my own language and a lot of languages. So it was easy for me to catch on, but I also felt out of place.
yeah, I can understand that. How did you overcome that feeling of being, you know, a in a foreign country, in a foreign land, and in a foreign, oh my goodness, from Iran to Beverly Hills. How did you, I mean, we all as kids learn to pretend and act and so I'm familiar with that scenario on a different level. How did you handle that transition and just you have obviously embraced who you really are now, but how long did it take for you to just like that's not me, or did you stay in that pretense for a while?
Well, the language was not that much of a challenge for me. I enjoyed it and loved it. And the part that was the most difficult was fitting in Beverly Hills. And that's where my story actually begins. I
Good.
didn't feel like belonging in that space.
Hmm.
I had to be dolled up, Barbie doll, and living in that.
Mm.
Because I'll just lean it into the holistic. Because at such a young age, I had this knowing within the embodiment of myself that us humans, and I was age 7, that us humans can live way beyond that is given to us.
Mhm.
So I had that upbringing, so I always felt out of place anyway, like I don't belong in this planet. Uh, it gets yeah, it gets really deep, and some people may call it strange. But I had this feeling with me, so then I carried that into this space. Now I had to fit in on top of that,
Oh.
and being happy, being joyful, living that, all of that was good. But I kept on blaming myself, criticizing myself. I
Mm.
hated the way I looked. No matter whatever I did, I was athletic. I even had a six pack. I was tan because I had to be this dolled up. So I was doing all of that. And
Wow.
I was a social bee, fitting in, all of that luxury Beverly Hills. Okay. So I was living that. But inside, I was literally beating myself up constantly. Um, and that even went to, which I'll, it's further down the story.
Well, go
Uh,
ahead. Wherever you are, just keep going.
okay. So then I went to corporation to financially survive because then at a point we needed to financially um, survive. That being said, I took a job as a paralegal, legal secretary, executive assistant because I did not want to be an attorney and I did not want to be a doctor. Knowing the culture, you got to be some profession. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. My interest was always in the body and the well-being holistic realm. So I
Mhm.
carried that, like living two lives. I carried that on the side while I was working at a very high demand multi-million dollar companies. Um, like even if you're late, like 8:01 a.m., if you get three of those, you'll be out the door. That's how strict of a job I worked at in the corporate world. So it was strict by the book, but I was always positive. So that's that story. I so in my body there was always fight or flight. It was not settled, let alone that kid losing everything, then going to a place she didn't belong there, and always not loving myself again. It starts with the self. And then that job just to financially survive. And then it goes further out in my 20s. And I let that be the next story because that's where the physical abuse, I ended up marrying into a physical abuse marriage. That all starts stems within, which we know now where all of those stems, but that was me in my 20s.
Wow. What your lack of love for yourself has a lot to do with what we draw to us. I've experienced that too over my lifetime in different ways. But when you look back, it's so much easier to see and see more clearly, isn't it?
Oh yeah, there was a absolutely, because there was a, oh my God, the love for herself, because I was in the holistic realm and I carried that all along. I never let that go. And that was since age 7, right?
Yeah.
And I met Louise Hay, and I was coached by Louise Hay,
Oh.
our beloved Dr. Wayne Dyer. I was coached by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and both of them gave me books that is all about loving yourself.
Mhm.
And then I created my king, my rock, my everything in 2008 and got married in 2010. The shifts happened after all of those traumas, and you just keep moving forward. And the holistic realm has been my best friend, but it was just there. I wasn't doing it as like, oh my God, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm doing that. It just came naturally to me.
You were just being who you were, finally. Finally. Now, what caused that transition? Was there a pivotal point that actually helped you transition, or was it just gradually?
It had actually, that has another story of its own. I'm like an open book with
I'm all
different
about
chapters,
stories.
right? It's like we're all living in this. Oh my God. It was 2011. So at that time, I worked in the cancer center, which is a well-known hospital,
Mhm.
and I was there for 14 years. So one regular work day, I turned around to turn off the alarm that went off to get up and get ready and go. I couldn't move this time.
Oh,
I was, yeah. And what happened? I was hiking every weekend. I did power walk so I was athletic. I lived a holistic lifestyle. So what is going on? I turned to my husband and I said, I can't move. He goes, what do you mean you can't move? I'm like, I can't move. He thought I was joking. So he had to carry me to the restroom and fast forward, they labeled me with an autoimmune of Hashimoto's, chronic fatigue, chronic pain. Because of my knowing, I'm not saying it was easy. I didn't own those labels, and I'm 56, never been on any meds. I was out of bed in 3 months, and every day I lived my life like the 20-year-old and not up and down. So, with every heartbeat, living that life. And I want to simplify it for people because when I was in that position, even the holistic realm was challenging. Even uh, you name, I've done. You name it, I've done based on quantum physics, different nutrition. So I've done it all. So my whole thing was simplify this because I wasn't planning to be a coach. In fact, I remember one of my sales, because I got a sales coach once I stepped into the entrepreneur, because it was not my thing. I'm like, he goes, you are a coach already. You have been. I'm like, what are you talking about? So it had to easily accept that transition because it's the corporate and entrepreneur is totally a different universe, I call it.
mhm.
And that transition for me was extremely challenging because what I did was gifted to people. And now I had to deal with money. And money had always been my issue because I used to hate money
Oh,
because the fact that my dad worked with the Shaw and was never home because he was busy. And so, as I said, I have many different aspects of my story. So that was my money thing. But my money is my best friend right now, but that's how I was. So transitioning into this was not an easy thing for me to do.
can imagine.
And yes, so I'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
No, but that's great. Now you have a lot of things going on in your business. Tell our audience what you do specifically and how you help others because of your journey.
Thank you so much. Well, the most important transition was wow. So I took a course and it was but the same person, my sales coach had a course, write a book in a day. This was before the AI, so
Oh,
write a book in a day, say die, in a day. And the first time I took it, I'm like, nothing's coming down. And keep in mind, writing was my passion all along, which my dad knew. That's how I got to read at a young age. And I was always into books and reading and researching and writing. And every time I would write something, everyone's like, wow. Or my English teachers like, pursue your writing. It was always in back of my head. I even took a course in it once and they were all amazed. But I felt I'm not good enough. My grammar, I'm all over the place. I can't write. So that was always bugging me. So
mm.
I took this course and I was blank. My dad crossed over on May 2020, Mother's Day.
Oh, goodness.
Yep. And the message came in my dream. And people, I get chills because people, you only know it when you experience it. It's not the woo-woo or any of that because he literally downloaded this book to me. You Are the Universe, the Master Creator. This is my copy. It's Amazon's bestseller. It's basically 1 to 2 pages each page. Very simple. And at the end of the 2 pages chapter, there's a place for you to reflect on the notes. So I made it easy and I was supposed to get that out. And my mission is to impact billions of lives because it's not from me. It's from the soul within me talking through my dad to me. I still get chills that I got to send this message out that nothing is outside of us and you are the universe. I'm here as a health span coach and I coach people. It's about that one part that falls out, body, mind, and spirit. Health span is about the whole body, mind, and spirit, everything coming together. Because if one falls out, it's like a radio station, there's static and we don't know where it's coming from.
Right.
Having a headache is not normal, right? Calling it old age or blaming something else. It's all on our DNA, subconscious mind, down to the mom's womb, what's in our programming. So we're programmed. If I say I want to live 200 plus, people will freak out because it's just a programming. Well, that's my statement. But for you, it could be living every heartbeat in that joy, that excitement. What gets your heart beating the minute you wake up? What is that? And you can live that every day, but you are the one in control, and only you can create that. So that's why I'm here, to be that service for them.
And that's awesome. I didn't even know about that book. That looks like something I need to get a hold of.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Uh,
That's the book I have to give to the universe. But before this, I did co-author this one.
Very nice.
This is when I was bedridden and how I got out of bed. But that is not mine. It was a chapter in there. This is the one that has the depth from my dad.
Very, very nice. Yeah, I definitely ought to put that on my list. We'll have
Me
all
too.
your links too, so people can buy, from the when they watch this.
Me
Now,
too.
you've got your fingers in a lot of pies, like we were just talking about. And in your coaching, who do you typically help? Is it anybody? Just
Thank
anybody?
you. Well, the world is telling me niche it down, and we hear that all the time. Only one, start there. But you know what? I've had babies, newborns that I've helped. I've had teenagers, elderly, because it's life in general.
It
It's
is.
that one thing that is not giving you that joy or is stopping you from moving forward, then
Mhm.
you would reach out to me. So that's what it is because it's a health span. It's not lifespan and it's different. We all have different fingerprints. One shoe also doesn't fit all. So I custom tailored exactly to that person's niche. So it's
Oh, good. Sounds like what I do. I like to customize so because everybody's different. Now, in that on that note, I had a question that just flew and like went grew wings and flew. It did. Okay, so if somebody doesn't, let's say they're having chronic headaches or constant this, that, or the other, and they don't know the source. They've been to doctors, they've tried everything, and your skills and techniques and knowledge can help them determine what the source is to get the solution, correct?
perfect. And you just nailed it. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Like the body's speaking to us, but are we listening literally?
Right.
Because I know I wasn't, and that was I was getting signals. If I could start talking, I'll be talking forever because my body, I can like share what signals, but that's what happens. There's signals that you don't even think it's there, but your body's constantly speaking with you. So yes.
Well, it really is. And we can't divide it like you said. We can't just say, okay, this is my mind, this is my body, this is my soul, and it's all one. Just like I tell people in business, you and it's you and your business are one. You can't pull things apart. But as human beings, we like to say, oh, well, it's just blah blah blah. Well, it's never that simple, but it can be. I mean, if you're having chronic headaches, yeah, you may have a stiff neck, but what's causing that? And so you have to keep narrowing it down and looking at our very thoughts. I love your book title. There's a great song. Now I'm going to date myself here. I think it came out in the 90s, but it's called "You Are the Universe." And I don't know if you've heard it. Have you heard it?
I've heard a song, but I don't know if we're talking about, there's a song about you are the universe, but I don't know if that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget the name of the group. I had
Yeah.
never heard of them. I heard it played on the radio and looked it up. But but yeah, we create our own world. Do you want to speak on that for a few minutes?
Oh, yes, because that subject goes really, really deep.
Hmm.
Because I do say the moment you open your eyes, we're gods and goddesses creating this universe. So whatever you say, it gets really deep, and you can, whoever's listening, you can take what you want and just leave out what doesn't resonate with you. But the movie Matrix actually is basically a disclosure. We are the Matrix, and it's how you create your matrix. It does say there are no spoons, but guess what? Whatever you say or create,
Hmm.
it puts it into existence. So I know a lot of people love this, and I will share this out of my own being. I used to I used to do this. I would go to uh, a friend of mine that would do these cup readings.
Hmm.
And I thought, wow, it's fascinating. And then I would see some people wouldn't do it. And then I understand was probably religious or other stuff. But
Hmm.
then I didn't understand it like that because I loved it so much. But then when the place that I'm in right now is I would never do that because to me, to my understanding, whatever we hear, it goes in the subconscious and we create it. It just gets created. What we hear, we're just like a programmer machine.
Hmm.
We are a computer absorbing everything.
We
So
are.
right? So then we project that out. So what you want is you are the creator of all of that and you can create whatever you want.
Exactly.
That's my thing. And some people may not like to hear that, but I truly believe we create everything.
Well, I'm on that same page, and probably the hardest thing to do is to own that in your own life. When you look at your life, you go, "Oh no,
That I
I know there are a lot of words for that, but nope, you did it." And looking back at our lives, we have to say, yeah, I don't know where I was or what I was thinking, but I definitely did create that situation.
oh my God, I love it. Yes, it's so true. It's like did I put myself in physical abuse? Am I crazy? Why would I do that? But yeah, we do that. It's just we do stuff and we don't want to own it that we did it. But it's all based on the programming, everything is programmed to us. We come to this universe so pure,
I know, I know.
right? And then that's why they say, remember who you are.
Mhm. Well, this is funny. It relates to what you're saying when you come to this earth. I pulled out the baby. My mother actually saved my baby book, and she wrote a lot of different things in that. And I'm like, wow. But I feel closer to my parents in reading and going back and looking at this stuff because it affects who I am now. And I had to learn. It took 3.5 years of therapy and counseling, but I had to learn to enjoy looking at my own picture. And now I'm on camera all the time. So, but I didn't like my
Give me
voice.
chills.
I didn't like my voice. I didn't like the way I looked. And I do things to help the way I look, like we all do, to take care of ourselves. However, that that dislike of yourself creates scenarios in
Oh, yes.
lives, doesn't it? It's like a spider web, and we're going, oh yeah, oh, I don't like me, and then when the spider comes along, we wonder where it came from. So
Oh my God. Oh yes, yes. That's I get chills when you say this because everything starts within ourselves. If we don't love ourselves, everything stems by loving yourself. That's one thing Louise Hay says. And I carry a mirror here. Life loves you. And it's a
oh,
Louise Hay.
I
I
love
had
it.
this, it's a compact mirror. And I keep that because it's like it has become a part of my practice every morning, every night before I go to bed. Look myself eye to eye in the mirror and say, I love you, no
Mhm.
matter what, or anything that comes up. I
Yeah.
have it next to me to do that because we're still living on this planet, on this earth. So
Yeah.
things does come up. We're human. And it's a reminder and to everything. Everything was because the root of it all was I was constantly blaming myself and not loving myself. Why do I have these cheeks? Why do I have this? And it's like constantly blaming for so many different reasons. At that time, was I also, why am I 5 feet? Yes, I'm packed. I had the six pack and all of this. It was just something I would pick on constantly.
Mhm. Oh, I get it. I get it. And in reading my baby book, my I think my mother said,
Oh, I want to read it. Oh my
oh,
God.
it's so fun.
I would
She,
love to know that story. Wow.
yeah, she said, because my sister doesn't have one, my other brothers don't. I'm like, somehow I
Oh,
valued it. Maybe that's why I valued what my
oh
mom did.
wow.
But she wrote, I don't remember if I had her eyes. I can look at me beside my mother and go, yeah, I definitely have her eyes and her smile. But she goes, I think she said I had my dad's feet or something like that. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord. But it's funny. It's funny. And one thing in my writing, I love to just make people laugh. I laugh at myself. I mean, the dumb things that I've done. Oh my goodness. And I stopped beating myself up for it. I'm like, yeah, I've got to laugh at this. This was so stupid. And even when I've hurt myself, just silly, silly things. We've got to learn to laugh more because we want the laugh lines. We really do.
Yes, those are all telling us what we've been through. We
Yes,
gotta laugh, we gotta play. I also always say you gotta play. That's why I say I'm that 20-year-old because and at times I say be that 4-year-old, play because
yes.
when we're in that state of joy, the rest will flow.
It does. It really does. Matter of fact, I was having a rough day a couple of days ago for undisclosed reasons, but I was just having one of those days and I finally said, I'm done. I shut everything down. I put on a funny movie and I said, I'm just gonna sit and relax. So I'm like,
I
no,
love it.
I'm done. I can't think straight. I'm being too hard on myself. So I set it all aside. I'm like, okay, get the cat, watch a movie.
Oh my God. Matter of fact, I did it the other day. I'm like, oh, I have this and this. You know what, Chris? Let's get on the couch and just chill.
Yep. Yeah, so I encourage our audience, take that advice. When you get in a situation where you're just, you're fighting yourself and the situation, it's only going to get worse. So shut the computer, turn on the TV, find something you really enjoy watching. And yeah. And so I watched a movie that was, I think it came out in 99, called Funny Money. And oh my gosh, it was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I encourage, find reasons to laugh. You can heal yourself through laughter, and
Yes.
but find a way to laugh at yourself too. It's hard. It's not an easy thing to embrace, but you talk about the mirror. I've got one quick story and then I'm gonna let you wrap us up.
Okay.
But I do have a mirror story because I used to teach classes to women in person before you know what happened. And
Uh-huh.
and so it was like the second, I forget what the subject was at the time, but I said, now this is your assignment. You go home and you look in the mirror and you say, I love you. And they're all going, no, no, no. I'm like, but you got to do it naked.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes.
And I said, well, if you can't say I love you, say I like you. Start liking yourself. But you got to just look at the bare bones and go, okay, this is what it is. I like you. Okay. And so
Love
they came back and they did it, but boy, they were resistant. They're like, I can't. No, 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 no. Like, well,
Yeah.
this is
Aren't
where
you
it starts.
surprised? Yeah, so many people are resistant. I love that. I love what she did.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I bet they still remember that to this day. So
Can imagine.
we got a couple minutes, and I want you to just say whatever you want to say, however you want to wrap us up, and to give our audience any final information, any advice, anything, whatever you want to say.
Thank you. Thank you. I just had fun time playing here with you, Janice. Thank you. This was so much fun. So it's all about fun, laughter,
Yeah.
because also laughter is money too. It's everything. Laugh, heal the body, and just play. And I would tell the audience, the one thing I want to leave you guys with is listen to your body. A headache and just popping pills to numb it because you have to go to the next task, if I can say the word right.
Yeah.
So that's not the way to do. You got a meeting, I gotta go to the meeting, pop the pill. That's not living.
No.
So I'm all about living the moments because I thought I was, I lived a holistic life. I did this and that. I thought I'm living the holistic life. But
Hmm.
guess what? Just listen to yourself and love yourself in front of the mirror. Do what Janice and myself shared about, start there. And I'm at your service. You got my information. I would love to dive deeper on a conversation with you. Mwah, thank you.
And thank you, Holly. We really appreciate it. I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm a Southern girl, so it probably comes out a little different. So anyway, I appreciate your coming, being here with us, sharing your wisdom, your love, and we can never get too much of that. But all of her information is available if you're on the YouTube or if you're on my website watching, you're watching YouTube. So it's going to be down there. So it's going to be down there. And her book, whatever she wants to share, it will all be down there. You can call her to chat with her and help yourself or a family member or someone you love. Thank you again. And Courage Confidence Connections fans, we'll be back with another episode and sending you love.